So, James Gunn has shut down the possibility of Robert Pattinson's Batman entering his DCU. So, Robert Pattinson's Batman is not going to be the Gunn universe's Batman. And what this all stems from is that James Gunn's been going on about Batman for a while now, and it's sort of just a matter of time before we get a Batman in the Gunn universe, because obviously that's what's going on here. That's the whole idea. The initial plan has been start with Superman, move on to Superman 2, which is going to be Man of Tomorrow, move on to Supergirl, which I feel like that's somewhat misguided, going from Superman to Supergirl. I mean, sort of, if anything, you'd probably want to go from Superman straight to a Batman, a Wonder Woman, but obviously that's not how James Gunn's doing it, because he's just fucking built different like that, isn't he? But yeah, that's what all this stems from. It is a matter of time before Gunn brings a iteration of Batman into his universe. We had this drop the other day. James Gunn says no to Robert Pattinson as DCU Batman, which is somewhat a shame, because Pattinson is a very good Batman, and I mean, people already love that Batman. I mean, the Batman pretty sure it made like $1 billion, or close to $1 billion, and part 2 is gonna do insanely well. And outside of the money side of things, people do genuinely just love that version of Batman. So it's a shame they're not bringing Pattinson's Batman in. I always thought they were. I always thought they were going to find a way to connect Pattinson's Batman into the main DC cinematic universe, but apparently not. So, James Gunn has officially put to rest the speculation that Robert Pattinson might be folded into the DCU as Batman. When asked on Threads if there was a chance Pattinson could play the DCU version of The Dark Knight, even as a variant disconnected from Matt Reeves' universe, Gunn gave a blunt and final answer: no. I mean, that is also a chance. They sort of, with Pattinson's Batman, they have two options. Option one, just find a way, maybe a little bit of retconning, which, if done properly, if done well, I don't think people would be too fucking dismayed about it. Do a little bit of retconning, find a way to connect Pattinson's Batman into the main DCU, and then you've got him in the DCU, and he's really popular, and people really love that version of Batman. Or you do a multiverse MCU type thing, and you just say that this is a variant of that Batman. This is another version of Batman from another universe, which is the same as Pattinson's Batman, but another version, another variant. But no, they're not doing any of that. So, Pattinson was never intended to be part of Gunn's rebooted DCU, but online rumours previously claimed Gunn had floated the idea of unifying the Batman universe with his new slate, replacing Patterson's Batman alongside David Corenswet's Superman. And we actually have the tweet, the Twitter thread, the X thread here. Is there a chance Robert Pattinson could play the DCU Batman, even as a sort of variant, disconnected from the Matt Reeves movies? James Gunn? No. Absolutely not. Not happening. No chance. Matt Reeves waiting on Gunn's Superman. Some reports also claimed Matt Reeves was watching how James Gunn's Superman performed both critically and financially before fully committing to his own long-term plans for the Batman sequels. That's true. I mean, I guess if there were to be a merger of the two universes and it was going to be Patterson's Batman joining the DCU, entering the DCU, that probably, I mean, maybe it wouldn't have, but that may have affected the overall story for the Batman and Matt Reeves's creative decision makings. I mean, I don't know if it's official, but I'm pretty sure Matt Reeves is doing a trilogy. I'm pretty sure that the Matt Reeves, Robert Pattinson Batman movies are going to be a trilogy. Obviously, part 2 is coming out next year, I believe. And I think there is going to be a third one. I'm pretty sure it's a trilogy. So, yeah, if Patterson's Batman was to join the DCU, it may have affected that trilogy's overall flow and storyline and how it plays out in general. Unless it was going to be a variant, then it wouldn't have. Now that Superman has hit theatres, the results aren't in Gunn's favour. The film failed to match the box office of The Batman and didn't come close to the adjusted performance of Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, even without accounting for inflation. Wow. So, without inflation, literally just comparing Superman from last year to Man of Steel, which was over a decade now, because that was 2013. Man of Steel outperformed James Gunn's Superman, and that's without inflation. So with accounting for inflation, Man of Steel's just completely crushed James Gunn's Superman. That's embarrassing. That is pretty embarrassing for James Gunn. Gunn's short response confirms that the DCU's Batman, the Brave and the Bold will feature an entirely new actor, assuming the project even happens. That's true. Before we get Brave and the Bold, we got to get Man of Tomorrow out the way. We got to get Supergirl out the way. And we got to get Clayface out the way, because Clayface and Supergirl are both this year. And then next year, I believe next year is Man of Tomorrow. Or it might be 2028 for Man of Tomorrow, I'm not sure. But either way, we've got a few films to get out of the way before we get to Brave and the Bold. So, I mean, the results of Supergirl and the results of Clayface may affect how this universe continues. As we have previously reported, much of the future of Gunn and the DCU slate hinges on who ends up acquiring Warner Brothers Discovery. Gunn also confirmed his future was in question. Yeah, so with this, there is multiple factors. It is quite the quite the equation, quite the formula, and there is a lot going on. There is a lot in play. So yeah, we have to take everything into consideration here. We have to consider how the Warner Brothers Discovery deal acquisition plays out. It's looking like it's fairly concrete that it's going to be Netflix, but things could change. The deal isn't done. People think that it's a done deal. It isn't. In actual fact, it's not a done deal. The deal wouldn't finalise until next year, regardless. So with what happens to Warner Brothers Discovery is not certain. None of it's a done deal. So there's that. And then there's also the results, critically and commercially speaking, for Supergirl and Clayface. If they both flop, if Supergirl and Clayface both completely flop, or one flops and one does all right, or even if one flops and one is a hit, I mean, that could be pretty bad for the rest of the universe, and for James Gunn. That could be pretty bad. He sort of needs, because Superman really didn't do what it needed to do. What it was supposed to do was make $1 billion. That's what it was supposed to do. They've never really articulated that, but that's the truth. Superman was supposed to be a $1 billion film. It was supposed to make $1 billion and completely smash it critically, smash it commercially. It was supposed to be a giant hit, and it just wasn't. It just wasn't the giant hit that they needed. And now they're going straight to Supergirl, and they're doing a Clayface, and then it's going Man of Tomorrow, and then somewhere in there, Brave and the Bold is going to fall into place. It's a weird slate. I mean, Superman lost a lot of people, and it didn't really win over a lot of casuals. It didn't win over a big portion of the casual audience, the casual fan base, which is what these universes need. That's what cinematic universes need. Cinematic universes cannot, and they don't rely solely on the primary fan base, the hardcores, because there's not enough of us. There's not enough of us for big cinematic universes to function. I mean, I was going to say back in the day, but 10 years ago, when Marvel was doing $700, $800, $900 million a movie, when close to $1 billion was the norm for every single MCU movie, do you seriously think that those results were solely because of the hardcore fan base? Absolutely not. Marvel had completely captured the mainstream and the casual audience, the casual fan base, people who are just like, I need something to do on Saturday. Oh, let's see if there's a Marvel movie on. Oh, look, there is a Marvel movie playing on Saturday. Let's go and do that. That's what those movies needed, you know. when the MCU... I mean, it's ridiculous to think about, really. Marvel had cracked the code, cracked the formula so well that they had movies like Ant-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, even Thor doing $1 billion a piece. I mean, that's outrageous. I mean, there's now 3 Ant-Man movies, and all those movies have done really, really well. Even the last one, which nobody really liked, I still think it made quite a lot of money. Regardless, before the movies, nobody knew who Ant-Man was. Nobody knew who the Wasp was. Nobody really knew who Thor was. Nobody really knew who Iron Man or Captain America were. They weren't hugely iconic characters. They certainly weren't Superman or Batman level before the MCU. And Marvel managed to crack the code so well that they had those characters doing $1 billion a piece, every movie. My point is, James Gunn hasn't done that for DC. I mean, Superman and Batman don't really need that because they're already sort of super iconic characters. But regardless, what James Gunn needed to do was have Superman being a giant smash hit, and he hadn't managed to pull it off. And like I was saying, it's a weird slate. It's a weird lineup of movies to build up a cinematic universe, because this is phase one. This is phase one. This is the setup stage. This is them building the universe, because they're only one movie in, so they've got a lot of building to do. This is phase one. So going from Superman's a good starter movie. I think if you're building a DC cinematic universe, I think you either you need to start with Superman or you need to start with Batman. You really do. So starting Superman was absolutely the right decision, and to be honest, I think we can all agree that we were in need of a Superman movie. The last actual Superman movie was Man of Steel. That's 12, 13 years ago now, so we were absolutely in need of a new Superman movie, so that was the right decision. But then going straight to Supergirl, I think that's the wrong decision. And then going Clayface this early, I think that's a weird decision as well. And then you're going to go to Superman 2 with Man of Tomorrow. All right, fine. And then you're going to go Brave and the Bold, and you're not including Reeves / Patterson's Batman, which I think is stupid. I think that's stupid, because the first Matt Reeves Batman made like $1 billion. I strongly believe the second one's going to make $1 billion or close. It's going to do very well. I see no reason why it won't do really well. And that version of Batman's already got a huge fan base. Everybody loves that version of Batman. And you're not going to use him. You're not going to use him. Why wouldn't you use him? These executives are fucking stupid, man. These executives are fucking brain dead. They are dumb. Why wouldn't you use Matt Reeves' Batman? I mean, who the hell? No disrespect to whoever it ends up being, but who the bloody hell is James Gunn gonna pick to be his version of Batman? Who even cares? Who even cares about another Batman? We're on like the 10th live action Batman. Who fucking cares? Just bring in Patterson's Batman. He's already proven to work. We've already seen that version of Batman works. Just bring him in. Let Matt Reeves do his trilogy. Next year we're getting the Batman Part 2. Hopefully Matt Reeves doesn't take as long to do Part 3 if he is doing a trilogy, because the gap between the Batman and the Batman Part 2 is a little outrageous, I can't lie, it's a little outrageous. Make sure Matt Reeves doesn't take as much time to get Part 3 out. Let him finish his trilogy. And bring in that Batman, bring in the Patterson Batman into the James Gunn universe. And if you really don't want it to be Matt Reeves's Patterson Batman, then make it a different variant, make it a different version of Patterson Batman. If you really dislike the Reeves Batman that much and what Matt Reeves has done with his version of the character, if you really disagree with it, then just make it a variant. Like the article said earlier, just make it a variant. Nobody, if it's done properly and done well, nobody's going to care. They're really not. Nobody's really going to care as long as it's done properly and done well, which might be a tough ask for James Gunn. Might be a tough ask for James Gunn. Asking these people to do something properly is fucking crazy. A crazy ask. So, somewhat disappointing news for me personally. I don't really want to see another live action Batman. I mean, Patterson's Batman hasn't been out for very long. I mean, the Batman came out 2021. Yeah, I think that's right. 2021 or 2022. The Batman came out. So he hasn't been around for that long. So it's absolutely too soon for another live action Batman. Let him get let Patterson get 10 years in as Batman. Minimum. I mean, Christian Bale did a whole trilogy. It took about 10 years to get that trilogy out. And he was the Batman for the whole time. Let Patterson have the same sort of run, you know. It's just, and then the thing is, there's going to be 2 live action Batmans at the same time, and that's really going to confuse people. It's not going to confuse people like us, who fucking know every little detail, but it's really going to mess up casual audiences, regular viewers. And to be honest, and I know that statement is going to piss off a lot of hardcores, but I really don't think that this universe is in the situation where they can make it more difficult for the casual fan base to consume the content. I don't think they're in that situation. So yeah, that is all I wanted to cover for today. So yeah, see you later.